So up here is kind of our... This guides you to help progress the story. These are just kind of quests that you can go on. So this is Repay Dragos. That's kind of what we're working on right now at Dragos' yard. That's going to be one of my priorities, is repaying back Dragos, because he's been so nice to us. Survive. This is also a priority. You need access to corporate pharmaceuticals, otherwise this escape attempt will come to a rapid end. So let's go ahead and toggle the tracking, which leads us to this marker up here. Dock C4. Rotunda Wet Dock. I think this is where it leads us. No, this is not where it leads us. Hellion Crossing. Merchants willing to run the gauntlet of Hellion systems are rare, but those that do always return eventually. Let's go ahead to Dock B2, Rotunda Wet Dock. Salvage sortie. It takes several cycles to reach the Starward Belt and return, loaded with scraps from the old wrecks. Go ahead and leave. Can't do anything there. So we're gonna go to Rotunda Old Dock Terminal. I happen to use all my dice, so I can't do anything here. Let's go ahead and, I guess, rest and then come back. So here's the Bright Market. Yeah, I can't do anything. I put all my die into salvaging. And here's this low-end gate. Pay low-end toll. After some spacers caused some trouble in low-end, Yatagan have imposed on toll for entry. At least that's what they say. So input 60 cryo. Cost 60 cryo to get past that checkpoint. So let's go back and rest for now, since I can't do anything. Oh, okay, there's one more area. Shipyard. We can assist a shipbuilder. We can haul materials and yard hand. We'll come back later. Let's go ahead back to the empty container and sleep for now. Try to get more die. This time you don't wake up. Instead, the ghost of the station, that shifting skeletal ring surrounds you. For a moment you are gone, absent from your own body, stretch out from across the colorless void. Then the connections begin to establish themselves, threads tugging on the edge of your mind. These threads become vectors of exchange and then extensions as you feel your thoughts slipping away down them, dissolving into millions of disturbed nodes they connect to. You see the station. No, you feel the station, like a web of texture in a smooth black liquid. Let's go ahead and touch it. I'm a very curious person. You find a point in the station and you connect to it, pulse through it, follow loops and pass under and around it. You touch more points than you have fingers, and then you try in a moment of impulsiveness to connect to them. The flow passes through you so rapidly that you feel yourself being carried away with it, splitting and separating, eddying and gathering. As you do, things occur to you, things that you can't possibly know. You reach out and try to grasp them, and try to touch them too. You notice a tugging feeling pulling at you insistently, as if it were a small child. Somehow it is pulling you in two directions at once. You look down. All of a sudden, everything shuts off. You come back trembling in this unfamiliar body, both of yours and not yours all at once. You find yourself standing in the container, eyes now open to the dark steel walls. You feel a change within you, a shift. You close your eyes for a second, and you feel it waiting there. The station splayed out across your mind, a storm of connective nodes waiting to be explored, and then it's gone. So we have waken up, and we got 3 die, and I'm starving. I really need the food, so we gotta find some food first. So let's go to the market and see what's here. So we can ask for directions. Why wonder when there are hundreds of people that live and work within the Bright Market? All you need to do is the courage All you need is the courage to approach them. Explore the market. The smell, sounds, and buzzing activity of the Bright Market makes it a dizzying place to wander, but enticing one too. Local knowledge. The Bright Market is the busiest part of the eye's lower rim. You can find anything and everything here. Okay, so let's go ahead. This is danger, so we'll put our highest die into it. So let's go ahead and start the action. Oh, that fills our local knowledge. Nice. And what do I do now since it's full? Let's go ahead and leave. Okay, so we can get to the Slum Doctor now. Let's open this up, and we have, looks like, street vendor for food. We'll go ahead and try for the food first. Memphis is busy, his broad face uplit by a makeshift gas burner in front of him. With precise, delicate movements, he lays thick chunks of metal, marinated fungus into a dented wok. His other hand idly tossing a metal bowl of sliced vegetables and some red flick dressing. The smell is incredible. That sounds delicious right now. I'm so hungry. You watch as he fulfills a set of orders, heaping the fungus with the bright salad and depositing it in plastic trays. A stack of chits rattles in his apron pockets as customers files past the burner, handing over payment. Approach or watch? Let's approach. My character's starving. You join the queue. It's mostly made of off-duty salvagers, back suits unzipped and rolled down to expose stained vests, grubby mods, and lattice of scars and tattoos. They discuss the best food on the eye, the best drink, comparing notes on Bright Market dives. Their words cut through with heavy spacer slang. Eventually, it is your turn, and you shuffle to the front. Memphis speaks in a deep, even tone, without looking up. First try is free. Let's thank him. I'm not going to turn down free food. The smell is almost unbearably strong as he cooks. The earthiness of the fungus laced with something so spicy the smoke makes your eyes water. The heat from the burner is like a bonfire, and your skin hardens in its glare. I know you sleepers, Memphis says while he cooks, his voice deep but clear. A hard life of a lot of stories. He glances up from beneath his cap with piercing eyes. I know. Tell him a story. You begin to tell him about your journey to the eye, and he nods as he cooks, his eyes never leaving his work. You tell him of the confusion, the pain, but also the sense of possibility and its sudden arrival. You tell him of the cold, dark of the container and the endless cycles spent within it. Now it seems, you tell him, like some dream that you once had, but can never forget. You tell him that the eye excites you and scares you, and you are unsure where to walk, where to look, what to do. Eventually you tell off, running out of words. He places a plastic tray of steaming fungus in your hand. Next time we can talk some more, he smiles, but next time you pay. He slams a heavy hand against a button on the burner's side and shuts it off. The roar of the flame and its impressive heat fades. Next time then, sleeper. He waves you away and begins to oil the wok. Before you turn back to the alley, you notice the geometric patterns of circular scars across his forearms, each surrounded with a constellation of glinting pin marks. You walk away, and as you do, you take a bite of the rich, spicy, delicately sweet fungus. Your taste sensors light up like a fusion reactor. You'll be back. Okay, so I got some food and eating. I'm not sure if eating different things fills up your hunger differently, but that seemed to fill up 3/5 of my bar. So let's go ahead and talk to the Slum Doctor. Next comes the calls from the enforcer at the door. You shuffle down the flickering hallway towards an open apartment door. You keep your head down and your shoulders high in queue, trying not to bring attention to yourself. You are thankful for the tip-off that a doctor was operating out of this place, but now you are here, you aren't so sure. The gang enforcer on the door, the flickering light strips, the key and Havelock. They have all made the long queue a test of your nerve. But your options are few, and without a supply of stabilizer, your body will. You suppress a shiver and shuffle forward to the front of the queue. You try to find something to distract yourself. So we can look inside or look at the enforcer. Let's go ahead and look inside. I'm curious. You lean against the door frame and look into the apartment. The entryway is dark, punctuated by the green indicators of stacks of sealed containers. You lean in and see amber light flickering through a far doorway, screened with plastic sheeting beyond which blurred shapes move. The slap of the enforcer's palm against the doorway jerks you awake. Wait your turn, he growls. After a few moments, a figure pushes through the doorway, and you catch a distant voice. Send the next one in, Toshiro. The enforcer jerks his head, and you slip inside, passing through a dark entryway and pushing through the plastic sheeting on the far door. The room beyond is bathed in warm light. A floor-to-ceiling transparent panel gives a full view of the Bright Market's sealed roof and the buzzing traffic above, and for a moment you are transfixed by the motion. Come sit, comes a sharp voice, and you see a silhouetted figure turn away, replacing the plastic sheeting over the frame of a simple folding bed. You make your way across the room. The figure turns, and as they do, you see an expression of confusion flash across their features. They open their mouths as if to speak. They blink and then quickly regain their composure. Please sit, they gesture to a bed and then turn to an open case of tools on the table. You sit, Sabine turns, a compact diagnostic scanner of some kind in their hand. They hold it to their eye. Remain still, please. Their tone is clipped and businesslike. You stare ahead, still dazed from their expression when you entered. Fear, recognition, sadness unmistakably etched across their face. How long have you been on the station? They ask. The scanner still to their eye. A few cycles, don't answer. Let's go ahead. We can't really tell the truth and just say we just got here, so let's not answer. They lower the scanner and meet your eye. You can talk. They glance towards the doorway. I know the conditions aren't ideal, but I need you to be honest with me. They make some adjustments to the scanner, or you can leave. Continue. They set the diagnostic scanner on the table. I'm going to start by assuming you don't know anything. They take your arm and roll up your sleeve, inspecting your synthetic skin. Your body is dying. They say it without ceremony, without drama, but not without empathy. S&ARP doesn't like to see its proprietary technology let loose. To prevent bodies like yours, frames as they call them, from being stolen, repurposed, or in your case escaping, they built in a process of so-called planned obsolescence. Frames decay rapidly when not regularly injected with stabilizer, one which S&ARP remains the sole producer of. They look up. Sound familiar? Yes, no, how do you know this? Yes, it sounds familiar. Good, that might help. They swap to your other arm, running some thin metal device over your skin. You feel your forearm tremble. I'm sorry, Sabin says, and you are unsure if they mean for the cold touch of the metal or everything else. Emulations like you, sleepers, as most people know you, aren't classified as people in any of the surrogate systems. You have no rights, no status. They focus hard on the inspection of your arm, and S&ARP has no reason to release stabilizer into the market. Sabine looks up as if to apologize again, but they stop themselves. I know little of this is of use to you. They turn away, disassembling the metal instrument and cleaning it. Silence fills the room as Sabine works, and then the silence gives way to tension. You stare at their back, willing them to say something, anything. Sabine turns to face you. I may be able to help, they sigh, and you see the darkness under their eyes, hear the fatigue in their voice. They gesture to the door. You saw Toshiro outside, you nod. He gives work for my benefactor, Yatagan. They are influential in the low end. They give me this space to work, run the door, and take up profits. At the same time, I have to fix up their enforcers, tend their implants, sew up their wounds. They look away. But Yatagan has connections. Smugglers from the Star Ward Belt. Mercenaries working from corporations on Ember. If they can source the stabilizer, maybe you'll have a better chance. Sabine sets down their slate, their notes complete. This is dangerous, and it'll be expensive, but I think we can do it. Why help me? Thank you. Why help me? Sabine walks away to the window, their face dabbled by the shadows of passing drones. Let's just see if this works first. I'll let you know when I have a lead. You nod and leave, Sabine's still staring out, unmoving. When you reach the lower level of the market, you look back up through the panels of the roof to see if you can see their face, but the room looks dark against the lights of the market. You duck your head and walk out into the crowd. Okay, so let's take a look at my quests. Okay, so it looks like I got a few more guides, and I only have 2 die, so we gotta choose very carefully. So we can build a ship mine. You've heard the talk of the fabricator owned by Ort Exchange. With that and a few fragments, you could build a ship mine core. So gain access to the Ort fabricator. Get to know Emphis. Emphis, that's the cook. Emphis loves 2 things, stories and food. Maybe if you supply him with both, you can hear his story. Okay. We pay Dragos and survive. You need access to corporate pharmaceuticals, otherwise this escape attempt will come to a rapid end. I'm gonna go back to repaying Dragos. So that was right here in Dragos' shipyard. I'm close, so let's go ahead and just dump our die into this. So we're gonna go into risky over here. Let's go ahead and all that. And we're gonna put 2 die into this. Start working. That barely got me anything. Okay, and that depleted my hunger a little bit. So let's go ahead and rest, and the first thing I'm gonna do is eat and cycle.